he becomes one of them, just one of the citizens of heaven. What does he find there? Beautiful short descriptions are there. There is a tree, wish fulfillment tree, kalpatam. Whatever you ask from that plant, it will give you. Anything. So no desire will remain unfulfilled. And then what else? There will be no hunger or thirst. So nobody will suffer from hunger or thirst. There is no decay or death. There is no old age, infirmity. There is no death. Naturally, very desirable place. And not only that, there will be a big lake full of wine. You drink as much as you like. And you will not be thereby too much intoxicated, so that you will be like dead drunk. No. It will not happen like that. In a word, whatever we are lacking here, we shall get there. All our desires will be fulfilled. In brief, that is all that can be mentioned. Then, of course, there are different grades of deities there. According to your merit, you will be just of that status. There are different degrees, naturally, because meritorious deeds will not be the same for everybody, so they will get plenty. That is the state of existence in heaven. Swamiji says, Swami Vivekananda says, people of the deserts, they imagine that heaven will be such as there will be plenty of water flowing in rivers. There is no water in desert, so there will be plenty of water flowing in desert. Swamiji said, I was born in a place where already there is plenty of water, and I shall be tired of that. Similarly, there are various imaginations of death, of heaven. Why? Because that is our innate desire. We want our desire to be fulfilled. If we cannot have that in the measure that we want, so we just hope that we shall get it in heaven. That sort of heaven is attained by meritorious deeds, they say, but then it cannot be eternal. Whatever is gained, that is bound to be lost. Heaven, if it is a place we go to, we shall have to come out of it. We shall be kicked out. If you do not like that word, then we shall have to leave that place. Because whatever we have earned by merit, with the exhaustion of that karma, that action, we shall have to come from that, fall from heaven, and come to the baser states of existence. That is the first path of darkness that I told you. First is when your body is cremated. Suppose that everybody is cremated, it doesn't. But suppose then the analogy will hold. Then there will be smoke coming out. That is dark. Then night. Night, another darkness. Then the dark fortnight. That is also where darkness prevails. Then the 6 months of the southern solstice, where there will be less sunlight, and ultimately you reach your heaven. That will be a place for a limited time, limited according to your merit. And then you will have to come back from there. Where to? Where will you come back to? According to the remaining actions that you had left behind. It may be, you may be born as animals. It may be that you may be born as plants. It may be that you may be born as a human being and begin the course again to go upwards. Now that is the darker path. Then there is the path of light. When you are cremated, not only there will be smoke, there will be flames also. That is the fire. Fire removes darkness. So first the fire, then the sunlight or whatever light is there, then day, where there is light, then the bright fortnight, then the northern solstice where there will be more sunlight, and then you reach the state of that heaven. So you will see, one is path of darkness, another is path of light. But don't take so literally that it is said, not that actually these are the elements that are mentioned. There are deities who identify themselves with those conditions. Go on enjoying them. And if you like, you can think the enjoyment is not permanent, then you can have a spirit of renunciation. And you renounce those states and go further up to the state of the Absolute, where you transcend all your limitations. So these two states are the two paths are there. For going to Brahmaloka, you may go on performing meritorious deeds with desire to gain something thereby, and gradually you reach the state where you have the highest kind of enjoyment, enjoy there for some time and come back again, or you do your deeds without that sort of desire for enjoyment and go gradually to the highest state where you are free from all the limitations and become Brahman. Becoming Brahman means freeing yourself from all the binding conditions and therefore become unlimited absolute, beyond all limitations, all relations. And these are the two states. Whichever you like, you may follow. That is one. That is about the paths to reach that state of existence. Brahmaloka, as I told you, Brahmaloka is two types. You have to choose between the two. Now these things you will say are just meant for children who will like to have these things as toys and as wish fulfillment like that. There are others who are full of the spirit of renunciation. They do not accept either of the two paths. They pursue the path of liberation without being drawn to any kind of temptation. For them, the liberation may come here and now. How? Give up all identification. Our limitations are due to our identification with the body, the mind, the senses, and so forth. In a word, our world. All these are things that limit our soul to conditions. Now we have to transcend all these conditions. If we can do that, the moment we shall be free from identification with anything that conditions myself, that very moment you will be free. Or the realization of Brahman does not need your going from one place to another, one state to another. It comes as spontaneously as darkness disappears with the flash of light. The moment you free yourself from all identifications, there is no cover for yourself to hide you, to cover you from your real nature. Your real nature is eternal life, immortality, your eternal joy, happiness, which is not caused. Our happiness that is caused, happiness cannot last. But when that happiness comes not from any cause, there is no reason why it should be temporary. So it becomes eternal. Eternal joy, eternal existence, and eternal and unlimited knowledge. It is our conditions that cover our knowledge, that limit our field of experience, field of, knowledge, consciousness, limitations of consciousness. There is no limitation there. So you transcend all limitations that way. Now I wanted to be brief, otherwise many elaborations might be there, but other questions also may come, and my time is
another 20 minutes. Another 20 minutes.
So I do not dilate the point. The sum total of this, the essence is this, that we are bound because of our imagination that we are bound. If we can free us from this imagination, this spell of hypnotism, we are free here and now. Therefore, it depends how we strive for that transcendence of limitation. How we strive for it. For a man who is capable of it, he can at once deny all these conditions, states of bondage. He can say, I am free, Atma can never be in bondage. Atma means all-pervading reality that is real mind, real me. That can never be under bondage. It can be achieved here and now. But if that is not possible, it is possible for a man who can detach himself from all these limiting conditions. And it does not take time. Time is a factor which does not bind him. So at once, here and now, that liberation comes. And when it comes, there is no fear of again darkness covering that light. Because there will be no darkness anywhere. Darkness is under conditioned existence. When you become unconditioned, no darkness can limit you, cover you. So that is very difficult, but very rational outlook. If the state of bondage is something which is not to our liking, why don't we shake it off at once? It is merely a sort of state of hypnotism. We are hypnotized to think that we are limited and we are therefore limited. It requires only de-hypnotizing ourselves. And then we are free. But that for most of us is not possible. That we can understand. However much we can go on repeating, I am free, I am free, I am free. My bondages are not leave me. So this is not possible for ordinary people. Therefore we have other ways described by different religions. Every one of them is capable of leading a man to the state beyond all conditions. But then it has to be properly understood and pursued without being digressed from it, without any distraction from it. How do we do it? First of all, we think of an ideal which we consider to be the highest in my mind. Every one of us has to find a highest ideal for him, whatever that highest ideal may be. As he tries to concentrate on that highest ideal, tries to make that highest ideal real in one's life, he proceeds step by step towards that state of evolution. We think of God so that we can become godlike. I say the highest ideal, it is left to everybody to have the highest ideal in him or her, and then live up to that. Live up to that without being digressed in any way, without detraction. Just follow concentratedly, step by step. If we are concentrating ourselves on that, we are bound to be gradually transformed. We become what our ideal is. And as we go ahead, our ideal will gradually evolve more and more. In the beginning, our ideal may be just an imaginary thing which is not very hard. Just as a little child's ideal is to get more sweets. But then as you grow, concentrate yourself towards the ideal, gradually your state of existence will develop further. Developing yourself and developing your ideal also. It will be more and more clarified. And in this manner, if you proceed, from where you are, everyone, you are bound to reach that ideal. So a devotee who thinks of God becomes God. I have used the word ideal so that it applies to everyone. Say we use the term God for that. Then everybody will become that godly, not all of a sudden, but step by step. As he proceeds, his speed will be accelerated. The more we try to free ourselves from that, from the bondage, we shall perhaps get great struggle in the beginning, but gradually our ideal of that state of liberation will be more and more clear. Our intensity of that longing will increase, and our achievement also will be accelerated. That is the great hope, the message of great hope. So that is another rational way of gaining the heaven, the state of highest existence that we can think of. Everybody can do that, and in a way everybody is seeking that, but without knowing what he is seeking. The story goes, the illustration goes, a masked deer has got in his navel the mask. When it matures, it spreads perfume of that. And the masked deer becomes maddened with that perfume. He seeks it. Where? He seeks it in grass, because he is familiar with the grass. We are in the same way seeking joy from these worldly things which we find favorable for us, and our direction is roundabout, never taking us anywhere. But if we just follow the path straight, with sincerity, with earnestness, we shall be able to go further and further through this process of evolution and ultimately become what is our ideal. That is why we say religion is being and becoming, and not merely certain rituals or certain dogmas, etc. So that will take you to the highest goal. And we as human beings can end our journey only with the state of that sort of complete blessedness from which there is no fear of fall. I've given you the idea of that reaching heaven.
Very simple.
And also how to reach it. The upper birth. And finds that it does not eat anything, yet it is full of joy. But thinking of it gradually helps towards that birth, step by step. And when he comes very close to it, he finds that I am not different from that other bird. We are one and the same. Now, because we are one and the same, our attraction towards that higher bird is inevitable, and it can never go. As long as we are of the same stuff, naturally these will combine. It may take time. I may be just groping in the dark, not knowing where from my desires are to be ultimately fulfilled. But they will have ultimate satisfaction when we have absorption in that ultimate thing, in that higher part.
But why some people, this longing is very, very
Dim.
yes, some dim, and some is. It seems that you are born. You, when you were a child, you always wanted to be a monk.
Yes.
Why everybody is not like that?
We know that everybody is born with some tendencies. All people do not have the same tendency. Different tendencies are there. It's a fact of our experience. Now, the boy has not done anything here for acquiring that tendency. He is born with that tendency. So we presume that there must have been a previous existence from which his inclination, his attractions of the mind have been shaped that way. So thereby we say previous birth. It is an explanation, plausible explanation. From that, different ideas are there, different inclinations are there. Some go towards it, some go away from it. Isn't it?
Christianity, in fact, doesn't preach reincarnation.
No. Christianity preaches that in the beginning God made man after his own image. This is the expression. That means God and man were very similar. Then there was fall of man. Fall of man by eating the forbidden fruit. The forbidden fruit means good and evil, idea of good and evil came later on. And then man became complicated in his ideas. And again there will be a regeneration of man to be united with the divinity. Isn't it?
Yes.
So that union with the divinity is a longing that will never be completely removed from man. That longing will be there. That is what I told you about the two birds. Same thing. You try to just think deeply, thereby your longing will grow in intensity and your speed towards it will be accelerated. So you can shorten the duration of this. But you can never be completely separated from the maker. There is a bond there which is indissoluble. It cannot be separated. Insoluble mind is there. It remains.
The power of the past karmas is so powerful. It prevents, you sort of weaken the process.
It is not something different from us. We start from where we are, and then what is necessary is to increase our desire, our longing for the goal, which is free from all miseries. That is all the qualities manifested perfectly. That is what we call God. Now desire has to be increased, longing has to be increased. The more intense the longing, the speedier the goal, and the speedier the progress towards the goal. That's right. But you can never be doomed eternally. Never. That is why Swamiji said, immortality is our birthright. Purity is our birthright. Knowledge is our birthright. All these are there with which we are born. This can never be taken away from us. Only it is becoming dimmed or more and more prominently expressed according to our tendency, our action. We either cover it up or remove the coverings so that the inner nature may be manifested.
We still need the help of divine or guru or
All this, the thing is, in the Gita it is said that Atma yuva Atmano Bandhur Atma Viripuratmano. We are our friends, we are our enemies. That who is trying to liberate himself, then his Atma becomes his friend. And if he prefers to remain otherworldly, remain away from God, then his self is becoming hostile to him. So it is not that from outside we are being kept away from God. No, we are ourselves keeping away from God. That is, it depends upon ourselves. And then, if we are seriously seeking God, well, naturally, God will help us to manifest Himself to him. He who seeks finds. Seek and ye shall find. Ask and it shall be given unto you. Knock and it shall be opened unto you. That is the Bible's expressions. The same thing. As Sri Ramakrishna says, if you take one step forward, God comes to you 10 steps. He will be sitting that distance. Oh, you have got here, I haven't got.
The last question, please.
Yes, come on.
I think he's sick of me. I've been there for a fit.
No, you can't. Okay.
it's better to put yourself.
Yeah.
She wants to ask another question.
A
Better
little
you put it.
Last question.
Last, why should it be last?
What is truth?
Truth.
What is
I just illustrated by the Bible's words. What is truth? Asked Pontius Pilate and did not wait for an answer. We say what is truth, but we do not wait for an answer. That is, we are not seeking the truth with all our heart. That is the difficulty. Truth is that which never changes. Truth is that which never changes. An untruth changes. A truth never changes. Truth may be misunderstood, may be differently understood, but it remains all the same, beckoning man towards it. And when one realizes the truth, he sees that he was seeking this all along. It is not something very new to him. He had been seeking it, but without being fully aware of its nature. That is, truth is that which never undergoes change. That is truth.
God. God.
God, you may call it. We give a name God. If we call it Ishvara, somebody calls Allah. That does not make much difference. But the God is that.
And also Jesus said, you see, thou shalt know the truth, it will make you free. When you feel free completely from any kind of limitation, that's you know the truth.
That definition is given there. That which never changes is true. That which never changes.
Seems too simple.
The word, current expression everybody likes is Satyam Shivam Sundaram, they say. But it is a translation of a Greek ideology, truth, beauty and goodness, introduced by Socrates, that has found popularity. But in Sanskrit it is other way. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Truth, which is infinite, that is Brahman, all pervading. That is true. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. It is popularly introduced as Satyam Shivam Sundaram. That is borrowed from Greek ideology of Socrates. We can think of God only in that.
Usually in the Western countries, Maharajji, with the modern thoughts and intellectual speculation, there is a feeling that religion has played division, conflict, killing and war. Even Christians fighting, Muslim fighting, Hindus fighting. So religion plays, I know, but this is the problem. Even India, even Jain, all these various sects conflicting, these things. And so younger generation who are seeing these conflicts, they are sometimes feeling about it's much better to be away from the religion and have a straightforward life. What are the answers?
Swami Vivekananda gave answer to this. It is not religion, but lack of religion that creates these conflicts. If you follow the teachings of prophets, there need not be this kind of fight, hostility, destruction of each other. It is because we are not really religious. That is why we take religion as an excuse and fight among ourselves. That is not fault of religion, but because of the hatred that is lurking in the hearts of people. And they drag this hatred into a garb and call it religion. It is not religion that is at fault. Because you see, the ideal of religion, if you see, that ideal will not make him hate a man full of hate, but full of love. When that is not there, just understand that it is not the fault of religion. It is lack, not practicing religion, but only grouping ourselves into different factions and fighting among ourselves. That is the reason, not religion itself.
Coming back to our order, Swamiji, we need more Swamis in the West. More Swamis in the West.
I see.
To spread the message.
Why West should not grow Swamis?
This is the problem.
Why the West should not grow Swamis? It is like saying that we want more Christ to preach. Why? Grow yourselves and preach. Why should it come from outside? Not that. Just try to feel it in a totality. It is not possible that one country will be spreading an idea to all countries, but let the ideas find a root somewhere And then that from that will grow a tree which will just spread its branches everywhere. It is not a question of India coming or West
The
coming.
idea is already there, but somebody to show, somebody to sort of.
That the idea should be active in one's life. Then the strength will come from within. It is only what is necessary is to take these things seriously. The ideas must be put into practice and felt strongly. Then they find its effect elsewhere. Man has to save mankind. He has to save himself. Wordsworth in his poem lamented what man has made of man.
Still, we need the presence of teachers to encourage us.
So she says we also need presence of teachers to encourage us.
Swamiji says when you are very serious about it, teachers are bound to come to you.
No, in a sense that has happened, you see. The West, especially after the Second World War, though everybody not talking, but there is a need for some kind of revival. As a result, so many have come from outside, and from inside also we have got very many good people that have started thinking it in the Christian fold. There are plenty of good people. Just like the one who died in Far East, the famous man who writes books.
Oh, yes. Griffin.
Bede.
Griffin, Bede.
No, Bede is one, and here also in the Anchor Hold there is an Anglican monk. The Anglican monk from America who has written a lot of books, certainly it's not coming to my mind. The last book he wrote was about his diary to travel for the West.
Paul Brunton.
No. This is one book is there, a man who wrote the diary in the Far East and he died. You remember? I gave a book to be entered into the... Anyway, I will tell you, the people also. He's just a Benedictine monk somewhere in America. A few years back he died. He's a very famous man, well-known man, written a lot of books.
I read one article long ago by some American. He writes, India invades America. That was the heading of the title of this essay. India invades America. There he says, beware of the Swamis, gurus and charlatans. Now, yes, we also say the same thing. Beware of that. Many will come in the name of Christ, and in the Bible it is said. But beware of false prophets, he said. If you are sincere, you will be able to distinguish between what is genuine and what is counterfeit. So from that you should be, against that you should be guarded. You must guard yourself against it. India does not mean preaching of these selfish people who want to make money or influence from that. I do not mention by name, it is not proper perhaps, but there are people who are selfish for the satisfaction of their self. For some reason or other, they go and preach. And America is very gullible in that respect. It swallows whatever goes there, provided it is easy. So they preach some easy religion. In the name of religion, they preach something which they just fall to that. And the result will be suffering and a distrust for all. That is because you don't have discrimination. You use your discrimination to find out what is really for your good and what is not. That is the idea. It has to be carefully understood You don't jump at any idea simply because it is new. Swami Bhuteshanandaji, who was the head of our New York Center, he once told a Swami of India like that, a yogi who was preaching yoga or selling yoga at a high price, and all sorts of promises he has made that the yoga will give you eternal life, perpetual beauty, and things that people like. And it readily got clients. Then the Swami Bhuteshanandaji told that Swami, what are you doing? You are tarnishing the name of India. He said, I shall remember your advice. And nothing happened. He went on in his own way. There are people like that. If you are indiscriminately accepting things, who is at fault? When you go to the market, you have to see what is genuine and what is not. If you go to purchase a diamond, why should you be satisfied with a false diamond? See, discriminate yourself and then find out what is really for the good. That is why some test has to be applied. In the Upanishads it is said that a guru will be one who will be akamato, not spoiled by his selfish desires. He must not have that sort of selfish end. And he must be of pure conduct. By conduct you should judge. When a person speaks of God, he must have, to some extent at least, those qualities which we attribute to God, divine qualities. So by that way you will have to discriminate and accept what is genuine, at least as far as you can judge, and then stick to them and don't be duped by false prophets, from whichever place they can come. You know the story of Rasputin, the holy devil. Rasputin, the holy devil, he preached that you must sin so that you can be saved. God came to save the sinner. So you must sin so that you can be saved. That was the devilish preaching. He did not come from outside, he came from Russia itself. So there will be people like that. And they say a house is infested by rats. They go to the church and say, please have some special prayer so that the rats may be removed from a house. Such false priests are there everywhere. I don't mean only in the Christian church. There are people like that. So you will have to judge for yourself what you want. When you want something genuine, go to the dealer like that, who has established his credence for that.